All right, so today we have Jackie. We're gonna do some like really glam makeup. Anytime Jackie is in town, she comes down and does some makeup. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna do fast forward here. Just prepping the skin with a micellar wipe. And then we're gonna go in with a little bit of eye cream. This just makes like the cleanup easier and just kind of depuffs. And now a little moisturizer with a little bit of an illuminating primer. So the first thing I'm doing is just kind of carving out the brows with a little ColourPop concealer and just getting underneath so we have a nice like sharp edge. And then I'm gonna go in with a very skinny brow pencil. This is the MAC one. I love the MAC ones. I'm old school like that. And I'm just kind of filling in and adding body and definition. And we'll probably go back and do some touching up after. But this just kind of gives me like a baseline. Priming the eyes. I'm using the ColourPop concealer again for this. I used it both under and on the lid. And then I'm starting to just kind of carve out the crease with a fluffy brush and an eyeshadow that's about 1 to 2 shades darker than Jackie's eyelid. This happens to be MAC Kid, and I'm just starting to like buff it in, and you can see it just starts to add a little shape, and then I'm going in with a shade a little bit darker. I believe the next color I used was Saddle, but it's not that important what colors you use. You're just looking for tones. So if your skin is medium or deeper than Jackie's, you would use something a little bit deeper than that. You know what I mean? It's just about adding that definition and that shape. And then sometimes I'll have the client open their eyes so I can kind of see, okay, where we're at. And now I'm going in with a skinny brush. This is just a Delium Tools pencil brush. And I'm adding a little more of a deeper shade. And then I'm going in and I'm buffing it out. So it's a lot of back and forth, adding, buffing, blending, adding, buffing, blending, going in with a dark brown gel liner just to define the upper lash line. This just gives the eyes a really nice framework and adds a lot of definition so that when she opens her eyes, even when we add the mascara and lashes, it just gives us something like a border. And I find it really important when you want to do something a little more dramatic. And I'm going right under the lashes so that when she opens her eyes, you don't want to see anything underneath the lashes, like in terms of like skin. You know, you can see now it just looks like a nice dark line, and I opted for a dark brown rather than a black. So now I'm going in with a shimmery color for the lid, and I'm using a flat synthetic brush just to pat it on and get the most color payoff. So now we've done the eyes first for that reason. So anytime you're using soft shadows, you'll usually get a little bit of fall down, and since I prepped her skin with the eye cream, it just makes cleaning up really easy. Going in, just going to do a little eyeshadow in the brows. This will kind of stick to the pencil, and I find those two together, the pencil and the eyeshadow on top, it just makes for like a really nice, long wearing, defined brow. Okay, so now we're going to do some foundation, and I'm starting with a flat brush. This is MAC Pro Longwear. I want to say it's NC35. And I'm using quite a lot of foundation because I want it to be kind of like a full coverage look. So I'm starting with the flat foundation brush, and then I'm going to go in later and I'm going to buff it out with a more of like a circular brush, and then I'm also going to go in with a beauty blender and kind of make sure it's all like melded to the skin. But I like the first step, if I'm doing full coverage, to be one of those flat brushes, and then I can get like a lot of product and just kind of spread it around the face. And you can see I'm going in with this round brush, synthetic again. I find the cleanup just a lot easier when you're using cream and liquid products from the synthetic brushes. And I'm just kind of buffing it in, and notice I'm bringing it down the neck. Don't forget the neck, because it's really easy. You're thinking I'm putting makeup on my face. Bring it down the neck so that you don't have any demarcation, and even blend it like out into the ears, up into the hairline, all of that sort of thing. All right, so we're just like patting everything in, blending, blending, blending. Again, on fast forward, you don't need to see it in real time. You can see what I'm doing. Just bouncing that dampened beauty blender really just gives the skin a more skin-like finish. So now we're ready for a little bit of like low-key baking. Just doing a little bit of translucent powder under the eyes. You can really use whatever you want. This is actually the Patrick Star one that he came out with MAC.
gosh, a couple years ago, but I love it. And then I went in with a little contour and I was like, oh wow, that is pretty deep. This is the Kat Von D one, and I used like a small synthetic brush. So I got a lot of pickup in that contour. I never realized the strength of that contour until I had used it over the powder on with that skinny brush. So I'm going in with a fluffier brush, and now I'm kind of like blending in the bake, and I'm just going to soften that contour. We're going to be adding bronzer and blush, so if it looks a little stark and gray now, it's fine because it's supposed to. It's a contour. You want it to kind of look like a shadow of the cheekbone. So when I add the bronzer and the blush, it will soften everything. So we're sweeping a little bit of blush over the cheeks. This was one of the MAC ones. I want to say this is Fleur Power, but again, it's not so important. This is really just about the technique. MAC makes another one called Warm Soul that I absolutely love. I almost like use it as sort of like a bronzer and a blush together. And now you can see everything's just kind of softening up, so it's less like, whoa, that's contour. And I like a big fluffy brush like this one for that reason. Like it kind of marries all the products together, so you don't have any harsh lines. It's just like nice and soft. And you just kind of like blend and you go. It's almost like, this is kind of like a stupid analogy, but it's like when you're like seasoning, when you're cooking, you like do a little bit, try it, do a little more, and you're maybe not keeping track of exactly what you're doing, but you're just kind of like feeling it out. Okay, away from the cooking explanations. Now I'm just doing a little bit underneath the eyes. I keep it really soft and smoky here because we're going to be doing lashes, and I find that just a little bit of like a warm brown under the eye, by the time you do mascara, it looks like a lot more than you actually have. So we're doing a little mascara. I didn't curl Jackie's lashes because I'm putting false ones on and she has a natural curl anyway. Somehow I didn't film the false lashes, but I just added a set of faux mink from Ardell. They're really dramatic. They don't look crazy on camera, but in person they're like pretty dramatic. And then we added a lip and a little setting spray. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video really soon.